Let me begin this video by being completely transparent with you. The majority of men aren't actually afraid of physical closeness. What truly terrifies them is being turned down. They dread that precise instant when they initiate contact and she withdraws, becomes distant, or says something that immediately destroys the atmosphere. But here's something I want to share with you. There exists a method to invite a woman into intimacy that doesn't come across as needy, doesn't create uncomfortable pressure, and doesn't leave you facing dismissal. An approach rooted in psychological understanding, not in coercion or trickery, but in comprehending how women make emotional determinations about readiness and who deserves that readiness. And this is precisely the knowledge you're about to acquire. Now, before we dive into the depths of this topic, let me capture your attention with information almost nobody understands. Women don't turn down physical intimacy itself. Women turn down the emotional sensation connected to it. When the emotional landscape feels incorrect, her response is negative. When it feels appropriate, her response flows organically. And the strategy you're about to discover makes it feel appropriate. Now, let's explore this more thoroughly. The fundamental principle, understanding how women make decisions. Every man who experiences rejection regarding intimacy typically commits one of these errors. He makes his request too explicitly. He makes his request prematurely. He makes his request while radiating anxious energy. Or he makes his request before establishing emotional chemistry first. And here's what you need to know. Women don't make intimacy decisions through logic. They decide through emotions. The instant she experiences safety, comprehension, being wanted without coercion, and emotional synchronization, access becomes available. So in this video, I'm going to reveal the dark psychology approach to requesting intimacy without ever appearing desperate, without creating discomfort, and without exposing yourself to that harsh rejection. But before we explore the specific techniques, let me clarify something crucial about female psychology that most men entirely overlook. Women process desire in a fundamentally different way than men. For the typical man, attraction is optical and instantaneous. You observe someone appealing, and your physiology reacts right away. But for women, attraction has multiple dimensions. It intensifies. It compounds through situation, sentiment, security, and expectation. This explains why a woman can encounter a man, experience zero attraction, and then 21 days later, discover herself entirely captivated by him. It's not that she was being manipulative, it's that her attraction required time to mature through emotional encounters. Grasping this transforms everything about your approach to physical connection. Because once you recognize that her desire grows through emotional accumulation, then you cease hurrying. You cease forcing. You begin establishing the circumstances where her desire organically intensifies. Let's begin with the most impactful principle. The first technique, you never make a direct request. Let me emphasize this because this single concept can revolutionize everything for you. You never make an explicit request to a woman for intimacy. Women don't react positively to straightforward propositions. They react to emotional beckoning. And there exists a tremendous distinction. Making explicit requests generates pressure. Pressure generates pushback. Pushback transforms into rejection. But when you beckon emotionally with subtlety, you alter the complete dynamic. She doesn't experience you as imposing anything. It seems organic. She experiences herself as the decision maker. And when a woman experiences the choice as her own, she seldom rejects it. Now, let me demonstrate how you actually execute this. Recall the most recent time someone attempted to sell you something forcefully. The instant you experienced pressure, what occurred? You retreated, correct? Even if you held interest previously, the pressure extinguished it. The identical principle operates with intimacy. When a man asks explicitly, "Do you want to return to my place, or should we advance this further?" He's establishing a business deal. He's making her evaluate the decision intellectually. And the intellectual mind is where uncertainty resides. But when you establish an emotional beckoning, you're addressing her unconscious. You're establishing a sensation, not posing a question. And sensations don't experience rejection the same manner questions do. The psychology behind emotional beckoning. Here's the psychological foundation supporting the first technique. Provide her room to enter into intimacy emotionally. How do you accomplish that? Straight T forward. You establish an atmosphere where she experiences safety around you, connection with you, and intrigue about you. Women affirm intimacy when 3 emotional triggers activate. First, safety. Second, trust. Third, anticipation. If even a single one of these isn't engaged, she maintains distance. But here's the encouraging part. You don't need to plead for these. You generate them. And the next concept I'm about to share activates all 3 simultaneously. Pay careful attention. Let me dissect each of these triggers, because understanding them will revolutionize how you navigate every interaction. Safety doesn't require she's known you for extended periods. Safety signifies she experiences confidence that you won't critique her, coerce her, or cause her to feel she's made an error. Safety is generated through your emotional consistency. When you're composed, centered, and non-reactive, she experiences safety. Trust develops when your statements align with your behaviors. When you express you're not attempting to accelerate anything, and then you genuinely don't accelerate anything. When you honor her limits without causing her to feel guilty for maintaining them. Trust is the groundwork that permits openness. Anticipation is the neurochemical enchantment. It's the accumulation of tension that renders intimacy feel charged instead of robotic. Anticipation is generated through self-control, through implication, through the interval between what exists and what might exist. Now, here's where this becomes fascinating. Most men concentrate exclusively on generating attraction and completely disregard these 3 triggers. They attempt to be remarkable, amusing, self-assured, all valuable qualities, but they neglect that a woman requires feeling safe, trusting, and anticipating before any of that attraction transforms into intimacy. The second technique, the gentle retreat phenomenon. This is one of the most sophisticated dark psychology approaches available. Here's its mechanism. Rather than advancing toward intimacy, you subtly step back, not in an impolite manner, not in a detached manner, just in a manner that demonstrates you're at ease with connection, but not insisting upon it. This accomplishes 2 objectives. First, it eliminates pressure immediately. Second, it generates emotional room where she begins advancing. Women experience safety with the man who doesn't accelerate intimacy, not because he lacks desire, but because he honors the natural rhythm. When she perceives you're not attempting to extract something, she begins gravitating toward you independently. And that is precisely when rejection vanishes, because now it's her initiative. Let me provide you a tangible illustration of how this appears in actual situations. You're positioned near a woman. There's attraction, the dialogue is smooth. Most men at this juncture would intensify physically, shift closer, increase touching, attempt to kiss her. But what transpires? She frequently withdraws slightly, not because she lacks interest, but because the intensification registered as pressure. Now envision this alternative. You're in that identical moment, and rather than advancing, you retreat slightly. You hesitate. You glance away momentarily. You establish just a small amount of distance. What transpires in her consciousness? Suddenly, the pressure evaporates, and in that void of pressure, she becomes conscious of her own attraction. She contemplates, wait, why did he retreat? Does he not desire this? And without even recognizing it, she begins advancing. She initiates the contact. She eliminates the distance. This is the gentle retreat phenomenon in practice. You're not dismissing her. You're not engaging in manipulation. You're simply exhibiting that you're at ease with the organic progression of energy, and that ease makes her feel secure enough.
Oh, pursue. But the next technique, this one constructs anticipation, the most powerful desire catalyst in female psychology. Thoughtful. The third technique, the embedded thought transformation. This is nuanced, psychological, and remarkably powerful. You don't request intimacy. You simply provide her a thought that organically guides her toward the concept. How? You employ gentle, emotionally evocative statements like, "I genuinely appreciate the way our chemistry resonates together." You're unexpectedly comfortable to be near. You possess this tranquility that makes everything seem organic.
None of these request anything. None of these impose, but all of these introduce a concept. Women react to sensations, not directives. When she experiences something around you, intimacy becomes her fascination, not your appeal. And that distinction, it's everything. Here's what's occurring psychologically when you employ these statements. You're assisting her in becoming aware of sensations she's already experiencing, but hasn't verbalized yet. When you express, "I genuinely appreciate the way our chemistry resonates together," you're not presenting a foreign idea. You're expressing something she's been detecting. And when you express her own sensations back to her, she contemplates, "Yes, precisely. That's precisely what I'm experiencing as well." This establishes harmony, and harmony possesses magnetic qualities. There's also a concept in psychology termed priming. When you incorporate specific words or ideas into a discussion, they become more prominent in the other individual's consciousness. So, when you naturally reference energy, proximity, bond, organic, these terms begin influencing how she perceives the moment. She's not being coerced. She's being directed toward recognition of what's already existing between you. And that recognition is what converts a pleasant conversation into an intimate bond. Now, the following section is critical, perhaps the most critical in this complete video, because men sabotage this perpetually. The fourth technique, you must allow her to experience safety in her feminine essence. Intimacy for women is connected to emotions, but particularly to feminine emotions: gentleness, confidence, affection, susceptibility, receptiveness. A woman cannot access feminine essence if a man remains anxious, strained, excessively sexual, or excessively forceful. Exhales. Your responsibility is straightforward. You maintain masculine composure, not domineering, not sexual, not desperate, composed. When a woman perceives this composure in a man, something extraordinary occurs. Her defenses dissolve. And when her defenses dissolve, affirming becomes organic. Not pressure, not coerced, just organic. Let me clarify what masculine composure genuinely looks like, because this idea is misinterpreted by most men. Masculine composure isn't emotionless stillness. It's not being unfeeling or disconnected. Masculine composure is the presence of a man who is attentive, at ease in his physicality, and not worried about results. It's the contrast between a man who's perpetually seeking validation. Is this acceptable? Do you appreciate this? Should I continue? And a man who's simply existing, permitting the moment to develop organically. Women are extraordinarily perceptive to presence. They can sense when a man is anxious, when he's overcompensating, when he's starving for affirmation. And all of those presences push her into her masculine, into her reasoning, evaluating, defensive state. But when you sustain composure, when you're centered and patient, she mellows, she eases, she accesses her feminine, which is where attract. Ion resides. Curious. This is also why women are drawn to men who appear seasoned. Not because experience inherently is attractive, but because seasoned men tend to maintain composure. They're not frantically attempting to determine what to do subsequently. They're simply flowing. But now, let's address the moment most men ruin, when they're about to make their request. Here's the psychology that protects you from rejection. The fifth technique: never request a confirmation. Request a sensation. If you request a confirmation, you invite a denial. When you request a sensation, you welcome vulnerability. Rather than expressing, "Do you want to?" you express something like, "Does this seem too rapid for you?" Or, "Do you feel at ease here with me?" Notice the contrast? Rather than pressuring her, you're offering her emotional authority. And when you provide authority, she experiences greater safety. And when she experiences greater safety, she selects intimacy independently. This is the contrast between rejection and bond. This technique succeeds because it entirely recontextualizes the dynamic. You're not requesting her to accept or dismiss you. You're requesting her to examine her own sensations. And that's a considerably simpler question to respond to truthfully. When you inquire, "Do you want to return to my place?" she has to contemplate, what will he conclude if I affirm? What will he conclude if I deny? What does this signify? Am I prepared? Is this too hasty? But when you inquire, "Does this seem too
Eyed for you?" she only has to contemplate one thing. How do I genuinely feel at this instant? And here's the wonderful aspect. If she responds a little bit, "Yeah," you haven't experienced rejection. You've received insight, reassuring. You can reply with, "That's completely acceptable. I'm not attempting to accelerate anything. I'm genuinely appreciating just existing here with you." Now, she experiences being acknowledged, honored, and secure.
And frequently within minutes, she'll be the one intensifying because you've eliminated all pressure. But we're not finished. The next technique is where the genuine dark psychology emerges. The sixth technique, reflect her attraction back to her. Here's what almost no man comprehends. A woman doesn't determine intimacy based on how intensely you desire her. She determines intimacy based on how intensely she perceives you desire her, but without sacrificing your stability. Meaning, excessive desire equals pressure, insufficient desire equals apathy, proportionate desire equals attraction. So when she shifts closer, contacts you, laughs more intensely, gazes in your eyes, or becomes gentler around you, you simply reflect the presence. Not amplified, not diminished. This transmits one unconscious message: we're synchronized. This synchronization is one of the most potent psychological indicators for intimacy. Reflecting is a profoundly ingrained social
Operation. From birth, humans acquire connection through reflection. When an infant smiles and the caregiver smiles reciprocally, the infant discovers, "I am acknowledged, I am comprehended, I am secure." The identical operation is functioning in adult intimacy. Thoughtful. When a woman demonstrates you vulnerability or attraction and you reflect it reciprocally, not overwhelm it, not disregard it, but correspond it, she experiences comprehension at an instinctual level. This is also where most men struggle.
They either under-reciprocate, causing the woman to experience embarrassment for displaying interest, or they over-reciprocate, causing her to experience like she activated a torrent she cannot manage. The secret is calibration. If she contacts your arm, you contact hers. If she sustains eye contact for 3 seconds, you sustain it for 3 seconds. If she laughs and advances, you laugh and advance. This establishes a rhythm, and in that rhythm, intimacy intensifies organically without anyone having to request it. Now, let's address the concluding step, the moment that secures the outcome without ever appearing desperate. The final technique, make it the moment's concept, not your concept. Women cherish moments. Moments are emotional. Moments seem genuine. Moments seem organic, not manufactured. So rather than requesting intimacy, you simply recognize the moment. This seems genuinely pleasant. It's remarkable how at ease this
seems. You possess a genuinely gentle presence right now. When you emphasize the moment, you're not requesting intimacy. You're permitting the moment to beckon it. Women pursue emotion, and emotion exists in the moment. Exhales. This eliminates pressure, eliminates awkwardness, and eliminates rejection completely. And that's how you execute it. Here's why this final technique is so impactful. You're eliminating yourself as the initiator. You're not the one desiring something. The moment itself is generating the attraction.
This is a nuanced but essential psychological transformation. When you express, "Do you want to?" you're the one desiring. When you express, "This seems genuinely pleasant," the sensation itself becomes the central point. And women are considerably more at ease pursuing sensations than pursuing requests. Sensations seem authentic. Requests seem transactional. By identifying the moment, you're also establishing a mutual experience. It's not you desiring her, it's both of you experiencing something collectively. And that mutual experience is the foundation of genuine intimacy. If you acquired something new today, if this expanded your perspective a little, if it caused you to perceive women differently, then don't just depart. Press that like button and subscribe to the channel for more dark psychology and practical wisdom. And after you complete this video, don't neglect to examine the other videos on this channel. There's a complete realm of concealed peas.
Psychology awaiting you. And believe me, it'll transform the way you navigate women permanently. Thank you for viewing. Stay perceptive, stay conscious, and I'll see you in the next one.